Good morning, students. As you know that we were discussing the forms of public sector enterprises. So, there are three forms of public sector enterprises. We have already done the first form, that is departmental undertakings. Today, we will discuss the second form, that is public corporations. Now, what is the meaning of public corporation or statutory corporations? Both are same. Public corporations are public undertakings brought into existence by a special act of the Parliament. The act defines its functions and powers, rules and regulations governing its employees and its relationship between government departments. It is generally created as an autonomous institution by passing a special act in the Parliament or state legislature. As a body corporate, it's a separate legal entity for legal purposes and can sue and be sued, enter into contracts and acquire property in its own name. It's having a perpetual succession and a common seal. Few examples of public corporations are: first, Reserve Bank of India, Life Insurance Corporation, Indian Airlines Corporation, KSRTC, or Food Corporation of India (FCI). Now, what are the features of public corporations? First is formation. It is established under a special act of the Parliament that lays down the objects, powers and functions of the corporation. Second, ownership. It is wholly owned by the state. Government has a power to appropriate its profits and also has to bear the losses. Third, separate legal existence. It has its own separate legal entity different from its members, so it can own properties, enter into contract in its own name. Next is financial autonomy. What is the meaning of financial autonomy? It means that these types of enterprises are independently financed. It obtains funds by borrowings from treasury or public and from the sales of goods and services. It has the power to utilize its revenues. Next is employees. The employees of these enterprises are not government servants and are not governed by government rules and regulations. Employees are appointed as per terms and conditions of the corporation and they are not to be treated as government servants. Last is independent accounting and audit. It has its own accounting and audit but not subject to government audit and budget allocation. It is also not concerned with the central budget of the government. So these are the features of the public corporation, or you can say statutory corporation. Now we will discuss the merits of public corporations. First is high degree of flexibility. It enjoys flexibility of operations and financial and managerial freedom since it is free from undesirable government control. Second, least government interference. As there is no budget allocation for the funds from government, there is no government control. It is free from interference of the government in its day-to-day working, which ensures better and efficient working. Third, autonomous status. As these enterprises are autonomous organizations, they frame their own policies and procedures within the powers assigned to them by the Act. However, the Act may require prior approval by a particular ministry on certain issues. Next, helps in economic development. It contributes towards economic development in a big way, as they have the power of the government with the initiative of private enterprises. So these are the merits of public corporations. Now we will discuss the limitations of public corporations. First is rules and regulations. The autonomy and flexibility of such enterprises exist on paper only. In reality, it does not enjoy much operational flexibility as it is governed by various rules and regulations of the Act. Second, political interference. In practice, complete autonomy is not possible due to interference from the ministry, especially in case of major decisions or where huge funds are involved. Next is chances of corruption. Officials may misuse the autonomy status for their personal gain that are against the objectives of such enterprises. Next is delay in action. Government often appoints advisors to the corporation board, so quick decisions cannot be taken by the officials because of the involvement of government nominees in the director board. So these are the limitations of the public corporation. So now we have completed the topic of public corporation. Third form of organization, that is government company, will be discussed in next class. Thank you so much.